Once upon a moonless night, in the heart of New York City, there stood a symbol of freedom that had long been forgotten by the world. The Statue of Liberty, once a beacon of hope and liberty, had become a dark and ominous figure in the city's skyline. It had been years since anyone had ventured to Liberty Island. The government had declared it off limits, and rumors of something sinister lurking within the statue's hollow core kept even the bravest at bay. But there were those who couldn't resist the allure of the forbidden, and they whispered tales of the statue's malevolent spirit. One fateful evening, a group of adventurous teenagers decided to challenge fate. They gathered at the shores of Battery Park, beneath the watchful, hollow eyes of Lady Liberty. Their leader, Alex, was a fearless young man who had heard the legends but scoffed at the idea of a vengeful statue. He saw this as an opportunity for an epic adventure that would make him a legend among his peers. Alex and his friends Sarah, Ben, and Emma packed their backpacks with flashlights, ropes, and snacks, and they set sail toward Liberty Island on a small, creaky boat. The night was eerily silent, with only the distant hum of the city serving as their soundtrack. As they approached the island, the moon emerged from behind thick clouds, casting an eerie glow upon the statue. Its once gleaming copper had turned a sickly shade of green, and the torch in Lady Liberty's hand flickered ominously. The teenagers couldn't help but feel a shiver run down their spines. Ignoring their apprehension, they climbed onto the island and made their way to the base of the statue. Alex led the group up the winding staircase, past the graffiti-covered walls, and into the statue's hollowed interior. The air grew colder and damper with each step they took. The deeper they ventured into the statue, the more they felt an unsettling presence. It was as if the very walls were watching them, listening to their whispers of disbelief and their nervous laughter. Emma suggested they turn back, but Alex was determined to prove there was nothing to fear. Finally, they reached the statue's crown. They peered out through the windows, looking at the city lights below. It was a breathtaking view, but their knees still nodded them. That's when they heard a soft, distant whispering that seemed to come from the walls themselves. "Leave," it said, a faint murmur in the cold, damp air. The teenagers exchanged nervous glances, but Alex dismissed it as their imagination playing tricks on them. He suggested they go deeper into the statue, down into the torch. They descended the narrow staircase, the flickering torchlight casting eerie shadows on the walls. The whispering grew louder, more insistent. "Leave," it repeated, this time louder, more forceful. Sarah's voice quivered as she asked, "Do you think we should listen?" But Alex was determined. He had come this far, and he wasn't about to turn back now. They reached the torch room, and there they found a sight that would haunt their nightmares for the rest of their lives. The torch, once a symbol of enlightenment, was now a twisted, gnarled mass of metal and stone, and standing in the center of the room was a grotesque, shadowy figure, a grotesque amalgamation of copper and darkness. It had piercing, hollow eyes that seemed to bore into their souls. "Who, or what are you?" Alex stammered, his bravado finally crumbling. The figure's voice was a low, raspy whisper that echoed through the chamber. "I am the spirit of liberty betrayed, the embodiment of broken promises and shattered dreams." The teenagers were frozen in terror as the figure continued. "You dared to intrude upon this sacred place, and now you shall pay the price." With a sudden, unnatural movement, the figure lunged at them, its shadowy form enveloping them one by one. They screamed, but their voices were drowned out by the darkness. Days turned into weeks, and the teenagers were never seen again. Their disappearance remained a mystery, and Liberty Island was declared even more forbidden than before. The legend of the vengeful spirit of the Statue of Liberty grew, and none dared to approach it ever again. And so, the once proud symbol of freedom continued to stand on that moonless night, a twisted, malevolent guardian of its own secrets, forever shrouded in darkness, with no hope of redemption.